Hey, what's up there, So first, welcome to the second episode of my video series on how to repair and paint your plastic bumper cover. And in this episode, I'm going to show you how you can mask off and then how to mix both your base coat and clear coat and set up your gun and then apply both base coat and clear coat to your plastic bumper cover. And if you haven't already seen the first episode where I repair some deep scratches and scuff marks on this plastic bumper cover, I suggest you do. I'll put a link to that video and a little new interactive video links YouTube has. Alright, let's get started on taping and masking our repair panel. And this is an important step which usually a lot of times gets overlooked, and if you don't tape things up correctly, then you're gonna have overspray all over your other panels which you weren't planning on painting, and it's not gonna look good. So take your time, be patient, and make sure you get the taping between the panels, the panel that's being painted and the adjacent panel. Just try to guess the edge, try to get in between your headlight and the panel, and then tape up. I like to use these plastic covers that they sell at Home Depot, and also you can get them at Walmart for pretty cheap. They cover the entire car, that way you have nothing to worry about. Alright, next it's time to find our paint code, and your paint code is located in different locations based on your car's make and model. A lot of times it's on a sticker inside your glove box, a lot of times it's on your door jambs, or in our case here for this Audi, it was on a sticker inside of our spare tire wall. Next, you want to take your paint coat to your local auto body shop supply store or Napa. Some Napas, they do paint also, and actually this is where I got this from. I got half a pint for about 19 bucks, and this is plenty for what we're doing here. Next, you'll also need some reducer, and you got to be mixing this with your base coat, and reducer is pretty cheap. I think for about 10 or 12 bucks you should be able to get a quart at Napa also. Also, these mixing cups are great as well. They have these little graphs on them that help you mix your paint and clear coat accurately. Alright, next we're going to be mixing our paint, and our mixing ratio for our base coat and reducer is 1:1, which means for one part of base coat we put one equal part of reducer. And I'm going to go up to 2. That's actually going to be plenty for the touch-up we're doing. Actually no, I'll go up to 3 just to be on the safe side so I don't have to mix again. So if I'm going up to here, which means on the first part of this graph, if I'm going up to 3, to add an equal amount, I'll go to the same number on the second part, which is up to here. So next we shake our can. And right there. And now we add reducer. There we go, that should do it. And next we'll stir them and mix them thoroughly. But before we put our paint in our paint gun, we're going to set our pressure on this gun. This is a Harbor Freight high volume low pressure air gun, and if I remember correctly, the last time I used it, I used 25 psi with the trigger open. So first we make sure our regulator is closed all the way. Next we connect our air line, and then we start slowly opening this up to get to about 50, and then we're going to try it with the trigger. Nope, it's way too low. Keep going, 60. That's too high. Bring it down a little bit. Almost there. Looks about 25 to me. Next we're going to put a strainer on top of our fluid cup, and then we'll pour our paint in. Alrighty, next we're going to clean our panel thoroughly with grease and wax remover. Keep in mind, if you don't have to go over these primer spots with our grease and wax remover, but if you do, then you're going to have to wait longer for it to dry. Probably a good 3 to 5 hours would be sufficient. And last step before we start spraying is to get a tack cloth and tack down our panel. And this will get rid of all dust particles that could be on our panel still. And the way I'm going to spray this is that I'm going to treat these two repair areas, this area that I showed you in the first episode, and that area right there. I'm going to treat them as one giant area, one repair area, and I'm going to spray starting from here to the end of that area, the repair area, and then I'm going to do 2 or 3 coats, and after it covers our prime areas, then I'll start blending that end of that area, that repair area, into the rest of the bumper, and then just a little bit. There's no really blending. I'll probably have to go to that quarter panel anyway. But I blended into the rest of the bumper on this side. Alright, couple of pointers before I start shooting. You want to make sure you spray these with 50% overlap, which means like if you were covering this much with your fan area was this much, you just want to move down 50% and do your second run. Also, you don't want to point the gun, press the finger, press the trigger, and then move. You want to move first, then press the trigger, because otherwise you'll end up leaving a blob of paint in one spot and it won't be even with the rest of the area. So first start moving, then you press the trigger. And at the end of the run, you let off the trigger, then move down, start moving, press the trigger again. It's gonna happen kind of fast, but you guys get the idea, I think. Yeah, I changed my mind. I don't think it matters in the first coat. I just put on the spots where I had the primer. It'll help cover the primary areas faster. Next, we're gonna wait 15 minutes and then we're gonna use our tack cloth to tack down our panel again. All right, let's tack it down. And you don't have to go hard on this, you know, you can just do this gently. And we tack it down again. And from this coat on, I'm gonna start from this end of the area and then gonna go all the way across, so I have a matching pattern from this side to here, and then I'll slowly start to go further and further, so I blend this end to the rest of the panel. Alright, and here's how things look after our final pass. You guys are going to have a hard time seeing anything in detail, but yeah, just towards here I just started to slowly go out, and at the end just went a couple of passes this way just to be really light on this side, and as we got closer to the repair areas, obviously we have more paint there. But this is basically how you blend either repair areas or panels into each other. And here's a look at our repair area. I still haven't dusted this panel down yet after our final pass, but yeah, it looks pretty good. And now we're gonna have to wait about an hour or 2 to 2 hours for this to completely dry, and then we're gonna start applying our clear coat. And I guess while we wait, this is a good time to start cleaning our gun. Alright, next it's time to mix our clear coat and start spraying it, and I'd like to introduce you guys to my new best friend, which is this clear coat that I got from Napa. And this is my best friend because after I spray this, I hardly have to do any kind of wet sanding and buffing for the clear coat to look good. And if you're wondering, for 1 quart of this clear coat and the activator at Napa, I paid about 37 bucks if I remember correctly. And this clear coat mixes 4 to 1, which is 4 parts of clear to 1 part of the activator. So there's our clear coat. So next we have 1 part of activator, so we just bring it up to here. And there's our activator. Next we'll stir it. And next we put it in our gun, and again we're going to use a strainer. And again, make sure you thoroughly clean this gun, and if you're wondering how you can clean your high volume low pressure air gun, I'll put a link to a video I did. Again, if you haven't seen it, which was I did about a couple days ago, I'll put a link to it in the interactive video links. That should be on your screen somehow. And next we tack down our panel one last time with our tack cloth, and also it should go without saying, after you spray your first coat of clear coat, you don't do anything with this, you don't tack it down anymore, okay? Alright, so I forgot to turn on the camera when I did this, but for clear coat, if I remember correctly, the last time I sprayed it with this gun, I ended up turning up the pressure to about 29 psi with the trigger pulled. So make sure you do that. Obviously you don't have to do that with without the clear coat in the gun. Otherwise, adjusting the pressure with the clear coat in there and spitting out of your gun, it's going to be somewhat difficult and messy. And the way I apply clear coat is basically I start up top and then I go across, and again it's going to be with 50% overlap. And I'm going to apply 3 coats, and we're going to wait about 15 minutes between each coat. Boom! We gotta run. Houston, we have a problem. God damn it. We gotta run. I made a double pass in this area right here by mistake, and I think that's why we gotta run. And I'm also putting these coats kind of wet. Yeah, what I'm basically gonna do is just finish up. I'm gonna continue. I'm just not gonna put any clear coats in this area. I'm gonna put it really dry and make really quick passes. And then we'll get those runs out when everything is all dried up. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna bump the pressure a little bit. I'm gonna have to kind of do this blind, but I think maybe our pressure wasn't high enough. That could be another reason why we got runs. Alright, so now we're going to put on our final coat, and I'm going to have no choice but to go over these areas where we got the runs, because we need some clear coat around those runs, because we're going to end up sanding those runs down, and if there's no clear coats, there's not enough clear coats around them, then we're going to sand through. I'm just going to go a little bit faster though, but yeah, after this coat we should be done. Alright? And here's how things look after our third run, and it's a little orange peely. You know, the first coat I was putting on there, it came out really nice. It was nice and you know, the mirror finish you would wish for. But I guess it's because our pressure was too low, and when I increased the pressure to be on the safe side, because I didn't want to get any more runs, it ended up being a little bit more orange peely. But that's the balance you're just gonna have to find out, I guess, based on different guns you're gonna use and the clear coats. But for this clear coat, then, now we found out that we need to raise the pressure at least to close to 30 psi. So what we're going to do next is to just let this sit for about 2 hours. Then I'm going to carefully pull off the tape and the masking paper around our panel. Then I'll pull it outside and let it sit under the sun for about 24 hours before I attempt to sand down these runs and get them out. And here's a close-up of our repair area, and mine is these guys. It looks pretty good. We got no scratches or scrapes showing. We can't tell that there was primer applied to this spot or there was any repairs done to this spot. And with that said, gonna wrap this video up. If you want to see how I get these runs out, please consider subscribing. Also, when the video is up and ready, I'll put a link to it in the interactive video links YouTube has, so you can access that by just clicking on the icon that should be on your screen. Alright, so again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.